We have a job to do, and we need to do the job that we were elected to do. And we constantly are getting baited into these fights with Donald Trump online and following into these traps of playing his game that we don't win as Democrats. We don't win the game against Donald Trump that he's so good at playing.
Ian Calderon is running as a Democrat to replace California Governor Gavin Newsom when he terms out next year. He lives in Orange County and describes himself as a business owner. He was previously California Assembly Majority Leader, and he says he's running for governor because, quote, living in California does not have to be this hard, and we can do better. We sat down with each candidate for an in-depth interview covering all the issues that matter to you. But we began by asking what they think our current governor and legislature did right and what they would have done differently. That's one question with Ian Calderon.
What Governor Newsom, especially recently, has done well is that he's actually started to have the real tough conversations around how you actually build more housing in the state of California and the regulations that have stood in the way of that progress and that growth. You know, it is a really political thing to stand up and say, hey, we're going to change or suspend something like CEQA. That is a political decision that doesn't come without peril, especially when you're somebody that's looking at, you know, what's next and potentially running for president. You know, you need to make friends, not lose friends, and you got to upset a lot of your friends in order to do that. You know, and I'm not going to say that he necessarily misstepped, but I have a difference in opinion on, you know, how the governor should interact with the legislature. And it comes down to style, and his style has been, legislature, do your job, and when it's time for me to do my job, I'll do my job. How I would differentiate myself and how I would be different is because I know the legislature, because I know the process, because I've been there. I would be working with the legislature every step of the way and making sure that they're clear. This is where I stand on these policies. These are the sticky pieces that we need to work through, and I'm going to be engaged in that process throughout so that by the time the legislation gets to me, people are going to have a pretty clear idea where I stand on that issue. A lot of times bills will get to the governor's desk and you look at them and you ask, hey, what's he going to do? And I have no idea.
All right, legislature.
Something that I think is on a lot of parents' hearts and minds is what happens to your kid when they're online. The legislature, in a bipartisan way, has really taken a leadership role in actually trying to focus on protections for kids while they're online. And I really appreciate them taking that on. And in terms of missteps, I mean, look, I was in the legislature when Donald Trump first got elected president. I get that we need to fight back. I get we need to fight for California's values. But I feel like we've lost the plot. And at the end of the day, we're elected to represent Californians. We're elected to solve the problems that are happening here, not constantly focus on Washington, D.C. and what Donald Trump is doing. And so I think if there's a misstep, I think it's just focusing too much on what's happening in Washington, D.C. and letting that distract from the work that's happening in California. What are you doing for me? What are you doing to make my life easier? What are you doing and what can you show me that's taking care of the issues that are impacting me in a negative way every single day in this state?